Want to say welcome to the legendary Al-Saadiq Banks here. I Never Knew TV. Fire, what's going on?
Peace, my bro.
We're going to get right into it, right? And question I first have is, I want to start with your powerful book, Block Party, right? For
Mhm.
those who may not know, can you explain how it became one of the most widely read books in the U.S. prison system, especially among African American inmates? Also, what do you think resonated most with that audience?
I believe, at the time, at that time in urban fiction, right? Most of the urban books were written by women, so it was a different perspective. It was the women's perspective. Mainly what the woman thought the streets was, right? So a woman could be right there side by side with her guy, and she can look at things through his scope, right? But she don't really know the ins and outs. She just know the surface. So I think most of the women at that particular time were writing from through their scope. So when and plus they were always writing about the main character was women. So when Block Party came in, it was a different twist because one, it was male driven. The main character, was a male. At that particular time, the distributors were telling me that it wasn't going to work because men don't read and women don't want to read male driven books. So that put me on a quest to kind of prove them wrong. Like, you know what? Listen, I know I got a good story to tell. I'm going to go ahead and put this story out, regardless of what they saying that men don't read. I know I can get men to read. So what made them gravitate to it was for the first time is a book that they can relate to. It's not from the woman's scope. You get what I'm saying? And it's a story that's not over the top. A story that, is a story that guys can say, you know what? I've been on the street all my life, and I
More
never seen
relatable.
I never seen it that way. This is how I seen it like this. You know what I mean? You got guys who've been on the street 20, 30, 40 years who never made it to millionaire status, right? But in a lot of those urban books, everybody was millionaires, and it just nobody showed you the process. Everybody just showed you, the book starts off with him, with lions at the gate, and he got a whole kingdom. You feel what I'm saying? So me with these books, I showed them that listen, not everybody gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? 97, 98% of those guys not gonna make it. It's gonna end in death. It's gonna end up, it's gonna end in prison. And I gave them a real story that they could relate to.
And I want listening to you, right? The female perspective can be distorted because they're seeing it, but a lot of it comes from pillow talk because they're
Indeed.
not around to do like that to experience that
Not all
daily.
day long.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's
So all you got is what I give you when I come in the house. Yo, so I did this, and then I did that, and then tomorrow I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that stuff that they were writing about, like you said, was the pillow talk. It was the fluff. It wasn't the true emotion that. Listen, man, I've been doing this all my life, man, and I can't come up. I can't get it right.
and that's a great point to have, right? Because I know from earlier, a lot of the criticism I heard of urban fiction was that
The
it was glorifying, but you're not glorifying anything. You're just showing the reality of it.
the reality. That's it. No glorification whatsoever. Because I mean, I've never found glory in that. You know what I'm saying? In order for you to glorify something, you must see the glory in it. I've never saw glory in it. I always knew it to be what it is, a trap. And if you don't make it out in time, then you won't make it out. Like that's how I always saw it. I never saw it as something to be proud of. So I can't write it from a perspective of glorifying it. So what I do is I give you the character that I know you're gonna fall in love with, right? And I build him up to be what you want a street guy want to be. Like a drug dealer's dream come true. I build him all the way up to the top floor, and then I drop him in front of his, right in front of his eyes. You know what I'm saying? Right when you think he made it to the top, I drop him, and that's the reality.
And how did you? I know you've been writing for a long time, right?
Yeah, I've
From
been writing
earlier.
23 years.
How did you get the skill of building a character?
Man, let's see. It comes with trial and error. Of course, my first book it wasn't, uh, you know, executed properly. I didn't have quotation marks, so you didn't even know who was talking. You had to figure out what that sound like. You know what I mean? No quotation marks. Poor editing, all of that, right? No plot development. None of that. No character development. So when by the third book, I say around the fourth book is when I really started to learn how to write just from listening to your readers. So I would sit down, I'm really, really big on listening to my readers. So I would sit down at book signings and I would build with one reader. Even if only one reader came, I would talk to that one reader for 2 hours. The whole time I handcuff them and keep them there so I wouldn't be there by myself, right? And I just pick their brain. They'll tell you what they want. They'll tell you
They
what they
get a
don't
whole
want.
rundown. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?